nigga, stop caring so much. You niggas care too much, bro. That's why you ain't close to the bag, nigga. I've been on this shit, you feel me? Big bag. Glad big bag.
Before this video starts, ladies and gentlemen, I have a major announcement. I'm dropping my second executive produced single October 9th, which is my birthday. So I'll be dropping a song on my birthday. It is called Don't See No Ceilings. It is featuring, again, my boy T Griff, and this time we got my boy Don't Censor Collins. October 9th is when this song drops. This song actually might make it to Spotify and Apple Music and all streaming platforms. This song actually might make it this time. I'm working on getting that done, so I actually might be able to get it on all streaming platforms with this song. I'll also be probably get Fear on there as well, on all streaming platforms as well. So you guys look out for that. Also be on SoundCloud. Obviously will be coming out on here on YouTube as well. So you guys get ready for that. Yeah, especially stay for the end as well. Stay for the end of that song as well. Especially for the end of that song. But yeah, back to the video. Ha! What is up, you guys? Welcome back to the Sky is the Limit TV channel. Set Nation. What is good with you guys? Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we are back reacting to Jubilee. The last video we reacted to was it was like 6 white people, 1 black person or something like that. And you had to guess him, but guess who the black girl was? Well, black person was. It was a black girl that was in the video. But you had to guess who it was. They were blindfolded, so they couldn't see him and stuff like that. And the girl won. But I decided to check this video out because my boys Samad Savage and Joey Nato are in this Jubilee video, and this is big time. Jubilee's a huge channel. And then in this video called "Do All Rappers Think the Same?" So this is like some sort, I guess it's gonna be more of an informative video to just talk about how do artists think about how different music and stuff like that, or maybe just in general, or just in life in general. So yeah, we're gonna check this out, man. Because I know Samad is he's a very deep thinker, and Joey Nato is kind of like that as well. He's the man's a producer and an artist as well. So yeah, we gonna check this video out, man, and see what kind of information we can get from we can learn from this, man. And we gonna slide to the right just because I've been wanting to test this out for like in the next week or so and stuff like that, to see if you guys like me being on the side and not using the green screen instead, because it makes it easier for me to export videos faster and get it out to you guys quicker. So yeah, let's get it, man. Let go. And this is gonna be a long ass video, so I'm gonna try not to pause so much as well. So okay, so yeah, there's Samad right there. I've seen her before, I think. Joy Nato, and I don't know.
People were really upset, artists. And men were really upset at WAP.
Like, it's literally the closest thing I've ever heard to audio pornography.
You must not have heard a lot of men rap.
It's aimed at young American girls. Can you even imagine?
Oh, they're gonna be talking about the WAP song?
I don't cook.
Bro, that dude.
Wet ass P-word.
People are like, this is vulgar, inappropriate. What about the children that look up to them?
Do women achieve equality by aspiring to and replicating the values that have been established by males?
We tried our best to enjoy it, but it's been a lot of politics.
There's a lot of female rappers that be rapping their ass off and don't be talking about their and don't blame that on us when y'all not the one that's supporting them.
I agree with Cardi B on that, because like, to me, female rapper best lyrically is Rhapsody to me. Best lyrically. To me, she's the best. But like they said, sex sells and stuff like that. That's the shit that sells. Sex appeal, all the other shit. That's what sells in the rap game and stuff like that. So when Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion put out WAP, and people are like, oh my god, what the fuck is this shit? Bruh. If y'all don't complain about that, then y'all better go make Rhapsody blow the fuck up. Even though she's been nominated for a Grammy before, y'all better make her blow the fuck up and get mainstream like how Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion are. If that's the case, then So I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear y'all complain about that shit. I don't want to hear that complaints about that shit. If you're gonna complain about this shit, then go support those artists. Then y'all not gonna do it, so because y'all know what the fuck people want to hear. What most people want to hear though. So don't do that.
My name is Brandy Blaze. I primarily do a lot of trap
Sound like
music.
some Waka Flocka shit. What the hell?
Feminism is really important for me as a fat black queer woman.
I'm
I did a song with
I gained
Quadeca.
most of my following.
I think I reacted
from
to this.
YouTube. I make positive, motivational music.
Read through you like a book. I can see through the lines. No, I don't get the picture.
I think I've seen her before.
My name is Nilam. I'm black Muslim and I care about activism.
My name is Pinky Ring.
Never seen her.
I am an MC and hip hop cultural ambassador for the United States.
I am Queen Herbie.
Never heard of you.
The messages in my music are definitely centered around self-care and building confidence and knowing your worth.
What's the point of seeing Caesar if you lose touch with Jesus? There, I pledge my allegiance.
Ruslan
My name
KD.
is Ruslan. I'm a Christian.
Ruslan,
The vision for what I do is to encourage, empower, inspire people to live God's dream for their life.
So much drip, you would
Yeah!
It's good with it. My name
Oh, they
is
just play no longer.
Weird kids like myself who didn't necessarily fit in school and stuff.
And the first
There was that
is,
levitating.
Rap should only send uplifting and meaningful messages. Brandy,
I'm going to disagree.
Joey,
Mm-hmm.
I think I'll say strongly disagree.
Nilam,
I actually disagree too.
Pinky,
Strongly disagree.
Queen,
I disagree.
Ruslan,
Agree.
Strongly disagree.
Wrestling,
As a
y'all, oh
father,
my
as
god.
someone who
I'm with them. I just
sees
strongly disagree.
the
Disagree.
Consequences of there not being enough uplifting and meaningful music, I think it should. I think there should be substantially more.
I don't think that lyrics have to be uplifting and meaningful. I feel like, you know, like the police, that wasn't uplifting to some, but it was uplifting to others.
It shouldn't only be and always be because ain't shit sweet all the time, right? Particularly in communities of color. It's not, right? And we need to talk about that. We need to report on that. I've heard someone liken being a rapper as the weatherman or weatherwoman, where you just tell it how it is outside. I think that we put undue pressure on rappers to be role models for young people.
Facts, bro. Fat dog. Why do y'all do that? Why do y'all look to rappers to be y'all's inspiration, bro? Like, I know there's some artists that are inspirational to you and stuff. I know that's a thing. But like, not all rappers are the people that should be the people that you look as to be role models. Like, y'all don't have to. I mean, unfortunately that happens sometimes, but like, y'all don't have to. It don't have to always be an artist unless you're looking to be an artist. I mean, I don't know. It's just weird to me that y'all people put artists in that realm of like they're the inspirational guys. They are the people to follow. There's nothing wrong with that, but don't always put it on them because that's not what they went into this music shit for. Sometimes they went into this music shit because they loved making music and stuff. That some of them are looking to be the inspirational artists, some of that. That's what people get misconstrued whenever people are like, they see these mumble rappers out here making music. Oh, they're not doing nothing to be uplifting, and so that, well, they're doing what they can to get a check and stuff like that. I think that's my food. I'm gonna be right back.
2 hours later.
All right, we back.
Never really telling these rock stars who are out here doing coke and like having sex with all these women that they need to be a role model for their community. So why are we always putting this heavy pressure on rappers?
And I said strongly disagree, but that like really like stuck out to me a lot because I hate when female artists are like over-sexualizing themselves. And I think my same reaction happened with Nicki Minaj and Cardi B. I was like, they're doing too much, like over-sexualizing themselves. Like, I do not like them now. But, you know, they're not there to, you know, be all rainbows and butterflies. So I think that was just a great point, and it really, you know, shifts my perspective.
My thing is when the culture as a whole starts shifting and going darker and darker and darker. And this is what I mean. Can we all agree that illicit drug use is bad? Popping pills, hard. We're not talking about smoking weed. Can we all just say, yeah, no good, drugs bad, right? Well, you have one of the biggest pop stars who's a grown man in his mid-30s and a father, and the chorus of his song is him talking about popping pills. I took a half, she took the whole thing. And we take that and
also,
it just
also sicko mode as well as when he said that shit as well.
goes over our heads, or we're just so numb to it. We're so desensitized to it. Look, Drake is not my son's role model. He will never be my son's role model. I'm my son's role model. I'm the father. But let's be honest, there are kids there. A lot of them black and brown kids from poor areas where single parents are prevalent, single parent homes are prevalent. You think that these icons don't have massive influence on them? So you guys,
yes, which is very true. But like I said before, why do people always look up to artists like that? Artists don't ask to be put in that position to where they have to be a role model, they have to be this so-called good citizen and stuff like that. Like, bruh, that's not necessarily what they signed up for. That's not what they signed up to. Not all these artists want to be artists are signed up to be role models. That's not their MO. That's not what they want to be. Some artists want to be like that, but some artists aren't. It's just how it is.
You guys are right. Yeah, I don't expect Drake to be a role model, but I expect a 34-year-old dad to be mindful of who's listening.
I have been listening to Eminem, and I mean old school Eminem, who did not give a damn about anything, saying whatever he wanted, since I was a baby. As I was born, I don't know if it was playing in the hospital room as I was coming out.
Yeah.
Like, that's all I've been listening to. And I'm still who I am today. And the reason being is because my mom has always allowed me to watch and listen to these things and has always pulled me to the side and said, Eminem can rap about...
Exactly. It's all about, bro, you can grow up listening to all that music all you want. At the end of the day, it has to be about how you're raised and stuff like that to determine how you think about things. Like, you can listen to that stuff. All you like, I listen to all the kind of music and stuff like that. Mother rap, all that stuff. Do I do that shit? No, I don't do it. So it's not about who your role model is. It's about knowing what's right and wrong. It's literally that simple. It's knowing from what's right and wrong. They may rap about it, but it don't mean you have to do that shit. Simple.
About killing people and popping pills, but that's not real life. That's not what you're gonna do.
You were really blessed. Your mom is a real one.
Yeah, thank God. You know, my mom, at the same time that she told me these things every once in a while, my father wasn't around. So she was in and out the house working and going to college. She wasn't really around like that either. I
should have asked you about that in my interview with you.
I've been getting into some things that I
forgot to ask you that, Sabat.
I
didn't get too personal with you like that.
Older siblings who were affiliated with gangs, family members who were drug dealers and stuff like that.
Oh, well, no, you didn't talk about the drug dealer stuff.
In a decent neighborhood, but every single person in my family was not in the neighborhood that I was in.
Growing up, I had a really incredible single mom. But my mom didn't censor any music I listened to. I ended up listening to a lot of Missy Elliott, a lot of Lil' Kim. Lil' Kim is my icon. So I grew up with a lot of those messages. And I think sometimes people just boil it down to, oh my God, they're influencing kids to have sex and this is bad. One of the messages that I got out of listening to Lil' Kim and to Missy Elliott that I kept with me as an adult and I still keep with me is things that they don't teach you in sex ed. Or your parents really not going to teach you when they teach you about the birds and the bees. Like, one thing that I learned from media that I wasn't protected from was that you have just as much ownership as in sex, that you are just owed just as much pleasure and they're supposed to deliver it to you. That really kept me from having sex because I was like, these little rusty boys was coming around talking about, yeah, you know, come to my house after school, you know, what's up? And I was like, oh no, because Kim said,
I'm happy with the state of our industry today.
Brandy, oh boy.
Disagree.
Joey.
I'm going to say somewhat agree.
I strongly disagree.
Pinky.
I somewhat disagree.
Queen.
I disagree.
Ruslan.
I strongly disagree.
Samad.
Disagree.
Damn, Joey, on your own on this one.
An entrepreneurship program to my students, and I'm still having to tell them, you need to have another hustle, right? I want people to be able to function within the music industry and make enough money. I'm not 100% an artist yet. And that's really frustrating.
I think if we approached this entire thing as small business owners and we said, hey, I know that the first year of the business, the second year, the third year, listen, I'm just trying to survive. But I mean, TikTok right now, it could happen within a week or two where you can legitimately build a new audience on TikTok that you could transition over.
Even though you built this whole thing yourself and got to a point where it's like actually making money, which nowadays like you have to be huge on TikTok or they have to see opportunity to get to pull that money out of you right away. 2% of those artists actually recoup, which means only 2% get to make a second album. Once you get in the machine, it's like your chances of surviving it are very slim.
I'm biased because I wouldn't have been able to flourish in a different time in the music industry because my come up was on primarily from YouTube.
I live in Boston and I'm from Boston. If you just Google
I understand why Joey says
Boston
that.
hip-hop, you'll primarily see women and you'll primarily see non-binary artists. And that's really something that I hope can be replicated within the bigger industry. Like, I think we're making strides towards that. We also have supportive foundations. I received like a 5-figure grant to completely fund my 3rd album. And before that, I've been 100% self-funded. I still have a day job, y'all. Okay? I was at work this morning.
There's a specific kind of men that run this that aren't black men that are putting out these negative stereotypes. No offense to anybody.
Call it out. You
gotta say that.
If we're talking about the negative portrayal of any race and whatnot, we have to talk about who owns these labels, who's funding these labels and funding the industry. And that's what made me say I don't really care if I'm in the industry or not. As long as I'm getting my bag to support my family, I'm good.
So that's why I strongly disagree, because the music industry to me is a joke and it's agenda.
The song WAP is a feminist anthem.
Strongly agree.
I feel like I'm going to be shifted, but for right now, I'll just say disagree.
Strongly disagree.
I somewhat agree.
I agree.
Strongly disagree with the caveat that I actually have never heard the song.
What?
Somewhat agree.
As a woman, if you're going to reduce me down to a WAP, it's a part of me. But for that to be the anthem of this is what just brings us liberation as women, that's a literal joke to me. And it also is kind of offensive because you're downplaying me to a physical thing. And I am a being that is just way too much for you, period.
It's females that made that song. As far as I know, I don't know if anybody else wrote it because it's the music industry.
Well, what's interesting about that is actually there are male writers in that song. Which is very funny because we call that our liberation, but men are telling us.
The thing is, here's another funny part. And people don't, I don't know, I think most people know about this, but the City Girl song, Act Up, bro, you can play that song, bro. Females are twerking their ass off, bro. Lil Yachty wrote that song, bro. Lil Boat wrote that. But if you did not know, he wrote that song.
I want to gag, I want to choke.
Is this song the only anthem for feminism? No, not at all. There are songs that go way beyond and talk about the actual powers that women have beyond physical appearance and physical parts. But I know that some women find empowerment in their sexuality. And if it brings power to those women that listen to it, then it's supporting feminism.
I definitely 100% agree with that. Like, I love WAP. I did a remix to WAP. I love that song. I don't care. But I know I'm the only person that said strongly agree because it is about ownership of body and ownership of sexuality. Sometimes I feel like when you are a rapper that does that, either people assume that it was put onto you by men, which it wasn't, or they assume that you can't do anything else, or you're not as smart, or you're not as good. And for me, personally, sex being such a predominant theme of my music is very personal for me for 2 reasons. One, being a plus-size black woman, the only representation I've seen in myself in media is the sassy, asexual best friend that's never the love interest, that's never viewed in a sexual way. My music and WAP, it's just kind of like me exploring my sexuality and having that ownership. I'm also a rape survivor. And one way that I learned to cope with that was ownership of my sexuality and ownership of my body because that was taken away from me. And obviously that's not the way that a lot of people are going to cope. But for me, that was how I coped and I got through that trauma that is intense as getting those things ripped away from you is that it's mine now. And I have 100% ownership of it. And how I choose to display it is 100% on me. And I feel a lot of power and a lot of liberation from that. And I think it's okay if you don't. But I don't think you should discount women that do.
And facts on facts on facts. I just wanted to say, so I somewhat agreed because there are other songs that I would say are probably better feminist anthems, right? But when we think about what feminism is, period, it's just believing the equality of both genders, right? So if we can have dudes talking about their dicks and fucking and sucking and all of this stuff, then like people were really upset and men were really upset at WAP. They were mad, 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 mad. Why can't I show my young girls that owning their sexuality is powerful then, right? Like, I wish someone told me that. And Brandy, thank you so much for sharing that because I share the same experience. Why can't we have someone telling us that so that we know to own it before someone else is taking that from us?
For me, the WAP song is another, I also covered it. For me, it was like a huge liberating moment.
Oh, she retweeted Cardi B about it?
Has a song called
Cardi B
BDE,
retweeted?
which stands for Big Dick Energy. Because this whole time I've been trying to liberate myself sexually and like be comfortable with who I am and what my desires are as a woman. I thought I needed to put on a fake dick, you know, and write a song about like that my energy has a big dick. It was just so liberating for me to hear women. And by the way, shout out to Meg Thee Stallion, who is a prolific freestyler. I'm pretty sure she probably wrote her bars. I just wanted to add
Oh my God.
perspective from a little Nebraska.
We know how that goes.
For the first time, it feels like in a long time, she's talking about what she wants to do and what she likes instead of talking about what a man likes and what a man wants and stuff like that. And that's why I feel like the power comes from in the song.
I also think that men were upset because of the sample. So the original song that has "There's Some Hoes in That House," that's great. It's a classic. Everybody loves it. But a woman took it and flipped it, and now it's not about degradation anymore. It's about liberation. Then now it's a problem.
As expected, this conversation did really shift my view on WAP. I've only heard it once because once was enough for me because it didn't make me mad, but it was just too much. Like, it's literally the closest thing I've ever heard to audio pornography. You know, I was bouncing to it and everything, like everybody's flow. Like, I could appreciate the artistic.
She had that face.
I've heard a lot of men rap because that's.
Wait till you see my.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I guess.
Exactly. The East Side Boys, Little John, man. Come on, Joey Dotto. Come on, boy.
Value. And I'm wondering, what do you think the intent was behind the song? Do you think it was to like empower women, or do you think it was to shock people and get views and clicks just from the shock factor?
Usually a lot worse comes from men. So I was like, y'all are scandalized by this?
I 100% agree with you, Brandy. It was like, oh my God. And it's like, first of all, too, it's consistent with what Cardi do. Why are you guys so like, oh my God, like you haven't heard her other. That's Cardi. Cardi was being Cardi.
Oh yeah. This notion that men were upset, like I wasn't upset. I saw the promo for it and I was just kind of like, I've seen this story before. This is Little Kim. Pass for me. In this being an anthem for feminism, what other modern songs are a better representation? What are modern feminist anthems that don't degrade women?
I believe it was Rolling Stone like declared Rhapsody's last album, Eve, as like maybe a masterpiece in hip hop feminism or something like that. The fact that some people don't know that about her or don't know that about her album or haven't listened to her album means that as women,
I literally was just talking about Rhapsody, bro. Literally just talking about it, bro.
We're losing. The fact that WAP comes out and now we're celebrating our sexuality and men are up in arms and upset about it, but don't, check their own when it comes to that, we're losing. As long as we continue to function within a patriarchal society and a genre of music that is inherently misogynistic, we're losing.
I have felt discriminated against in my industry.
Oh, man.
I strongly agree.
Somewhat agree.
I agree.
Strongly agree.
Somewhat agree.
Somewhat agree.
I agree.
They all agree on this one.
Based on the way that I look, no one even cared if I could rap. It was automatically, you're a woman. And then if people could get over that, they couldn't get over my size. And being a plus size woman that raps a lot about
that's a big thing because Lizzo, to my knowledge, to as far as like females that are like really that are hefty or big, she's the only one I know that's like really popular that has really made it out like it's huge, big time, like as of today, as of right now, that I know of right now. So
about a lot of sexual things, I got a lot of no's just based on that. Like, no one wants to hear that from a woman that looks like you. So not necessarily that they don't want to hear it from a woman at all. It was very much a woman that looks like you. But I also get a lot of love from people that are like, you look like me. You look like my family. You look like my friends. And we all want to, pop a little something. So we want to hear it.
Brandy, I'm just living for you. I just love you so much.
Oh
we
my
know
God.
that representation matters, right? We see it all the time. And yet, for some reason, when it comes to bigger women, it's just, no, but not that kind of representation. But there are women out there that want to hear that want to feel empowered in their bodies, in their sexuality. So my friends are rappers, right? And so they are
Rapper. Oh,
constantly
Lord. We
like-
got some Cash Nasty shit going on right now. Oh, hell no. The hoopist shit. Not this shit.
Pink, I don't understand what the problem is. And I'm like, it's because I have a vagina. That's really all it is.
Gender, I think in like hip hop especially, is the most common discrimination.
There's a prototype of a female rapper, and if you don't fit it, naturally you're getting discriminated against. I'm kind of like a faux pas in this industry because it's like, not only are you not hypersexualized, you're freaking Muslim. So it's like, dude, you don't even fit in this category. You know what I'm saying? It's back in the day, I used to be able to listen to Lil' Kim and Lauryn Hill on the radio. Both, and I just feel like there's just a need of balance.
Yeah, and even when you do have your Cardi and you have someone like a Rhapsody, why isn't she getting as much funding or as much airtime and as much play? Because she is, the opposite. She is something that we need and want. So I teach hip hop to mostly young women, and a lot of them didn't know who she was. Didn't know a lot of these sort of underground women MCs that are doing really dope stuff. And it's like, why aren't we putting money towards that?
I have to still put myself in agree because of the content that I choose to rap about. I rap about real things that are going on in the world. I rap about how there's more than 75,000 black women missing in the world. I rap about the thing that's going on in China, Israel and Palestine. I rap about all of that stuff. So a lot of people are afraid to get on tracks with me because they think that I might get blackballed and that might get them blackballed. So it's by choice.
Really?
Wow, I'm so happy that I'm a part of this conversation. You guys already pointed out so many lenses that I don't even see. And I think definitely as a white woman making black music, I think it's important to acknowledge that. First,
do you feel like you've been discriminated against for being a white woman in rap?
The first deal that I signed was with L.A. Reid. And one of the first things he said after the ink was dry was like, we're not going to rap, like you're going to fit into this like Katy Perry box much better. Like if you want to get the bag, this is what you do. And when L.A. Reid tells you that, that's what you listen. For the longest time, I had to sort of unpack what that meant and what my lesson was leading me to. And I had, to be honest, a lot of work to do in terms of learning the art form of rap.
Just personally, a motto that I do my best to live by is I go where I'm celebrated and not just tolerated. Like I'm an immigrant refugee. English is not my first language, but I'm viewed white by society, so I have a degree of white privilege. I'm a white guy in hip hop who's an independent artist, who's a Christian. So it's just like all those different things. There's a degree of discrimination that I faced because of all that, but I would say the privilege that I've had of being viewed as a white male in society has far outweighed any consequences or any negative sides of, being the minority in a predominantly black art form.
Music can lead to real-life violence against women.
Hold on, let's go back, because I got hit with an ad.
Music can lead to real-life violence against women.
Disagree.
I agree.
I agree.
Strongly agree.
Somewhat disagree.
I agree.
Somewhat agree.
If I'm saying every day, bitch, hoe, slut, trick, bitch, hoe, slut, trick, and I'm listening to that over and over again, as a woman to constantly hear that, and as a man or a young
Well, this has got Tory Lane's name written all over it, huh?
boy to constantly hear that's how you talk about a woman, and then your perception that you have on women, and you see a girl and you're like, look at that bitch. Oh, it's only because I hear that over and over again. She's a bitch, she's a hoe, she's a slut. You know what I'm saying? And then even changes how I treat her. Now I treat her like she just nothing. You know what I'm saying? Because I constantly have that in my ear. I just think it would be foolish to think that incantations ain't real and that those songs have that type of power.
When we think about violence, like it doesn't have to mean physical violence all the time, right? I feel personally traumatized sometimes when I hear some music or certain things that are said. I think it was Rick Ross that had like a line that was about like, you know, raping a woman, or you know what I mean? That traumatized me. So when we think about violence, like we have to understand that.
What song is that from Rick Ross? I know he got criticized one time because he said the F-A, I'm not gonna say it because they might flag me on YouTube for trying to say it, the Fagete word and the song whatever, and he got in trouble for that. I didn't know he said something about raping. I ain't know that. Whoa.
Not just
Rose, what you doing, boy?
Harm that's happening. It could be mental, emotional.
I ain't know you said that.
Think of kind of like that spiritual or like emotional violence, which I really didn't think of. So I'm not gonna say I changed or disagree. I'm gonna say somewhat disagree because I still do. Just that violence against women, violence in general, is beginning of time. A lot of the biggest influences are right in our neighborhoods, right on our block. You know what I mean? Like, if I know my father got killed on a block, then yeah, I'm much more likely to have a gun and much more likely to probably go kill somebody else. I don't think that has anything to do with gangster rap.
I agree with you. I feel like you can't blame violence on music, but I'm like in South Central and stuff like that. I just know, like, as far as the suggestion, it's suggestion just in the psyche.
A lot of this stuff is theme music. I've been on rides where people were, this ain't really snitching on myself. I've been on rides where people were like, had evil intent and whatnot, and they were on their way to go do some evil stuff.
Oh,
and
shit.
What were they playing? What were the theme songs? You guessed it, some gangster rap. So can it influence and encourage? Yes, but it's not the blame. I listen to shoot 'em up rap music whenever. I listen to that while I'm cleaning the dishes in my suburban home.
Yeah.
And it doesn't make me say, you know what, let me stop doing these dishes and go run outside and kill somebody real quick.
Yeah.
I would say I'm grateful for all these perspectives because I chose somewhat disagree because I don't want it to be true. I don't want to think that music can influence violence in that way. So I just am grateful because I am re-examining how my brain actually processes that.
I'm thinking about the next generation. I'm thinking about my nieces. I'm thinking about my nephews that aren't there yet, where they don't understand. Yeah, I consume this song for escapism, and I consume this song to be in touch with my inner freak. I think there's a balance there, but I definitely think that if you're not in the right frame of mind, you can definitely be triggered to go do some wild stuff by a song, or the song is just playing.
And if you're mentally weak, then you're gonna be influenced. You're more prone to be influenced by music.
Yeah,
to
true.
Carry out violence.
I agree with that, Joey.
But also remember, drive-bys did definitely happen in the 70s when everybody was listening to funk music. So anything can happen to anything.
I'm gonna be thinking about a lot of things. I feel like I'm just gonna be looking at a wall, thinking about life for the next 3 hours after this whole conversation. And you guys were all really fun to talk to and listen to.
You can learn something from everyone, and I really loved it. And I wish the industry can be as diverse as this.
I'm all y'all's fan now. That's just it. That's all I have to say. Period. Dot.
Let's give
Oh my God, the
women
period.
and women their flowers now, please, right? Let's support them. Let's uplift them. Because how are we going to get to the next phase unless, like we all said, we are the ones we have to support. Like, the more we're going to start seeing this resurgence of other young women who come up and are able to do it because we're paving the way for them.
Hey guys, thanks so much for checking out this episode.
All right.
The music.
That is it. I think, yeah, because they're just going to have the outro and stuff like that. That is going to do it, ladies and gentlemen, for this reaction to this Jubilee video. Do all rappers think the same? Very, very informative video, man. I hope y'all learned a lot, just like I learned a lot. I learned some things and stuff like that. Yeah, man. I hope you guys enjoy. I ain't got too much more to say. I pretty much said everything I wanted to say throughout the video whenever I paused it and stuff like that. You guys can let me know what you guys think about this conversation down below in those comments. And yeah, anyway guys, like this video up, really appreciate that. Subscribe to Joy Sister Nation View. Blue.
Shout out Yanni, man. He came up with the fire shit, man. We going black on this shit, man. Yes, sir. Chef gang over everything, motherfucker. Hey, damn baby got cake, I need a portion. Ass so big, I'ma need a forklift. Beat the pussy up, let it hook chorus.